Hello, everyone. I am Esmeralda. A little bit about myself. I'm 22 years old and I'm the oldest of nine. I strive to set a great example for my siblings, but unfortunately, my culture believed that cannabis use, especially recreationally, is taboo. So, as a recreational user myself, my family really looked down upon my cannabis use. But once legalization in Illinois came, a friend of mine stumbled upon the Olive Harvey cannabis program that I'm currently in. And through this program, I was able to educate myself and really change the perspective of my family on this industry. And through Olive Harvey cannabis program, they connected me with Amor, our Illinois Women in Cannabis executive director. And shortly after, I became an intern for this wonderful organization. Through networking and attending events with IWC, they helped me speed up my initial goals for this industry. I was recruited by Seed Staffing and I was able to obtain my current new job that starts this Thursday at Midway Dispensary. And I'm very excited to see what's in store. So it's my pleasure to welcome our panelists, Amanda and Charlene. Thank you. Ooh, that's hot.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm trying to turn on my video, but maybe somebody can, it says the host has stopped, so I can't start my video. But thank you for that. Has asked you to start your video. Okay, thank you. There we go. Hi, everyone. Thank you for that, Esmeralda. We love hearing stories like that. You know, that's one of the key, I think, successes to our program are these work-based learning opportunities. So we're so excited when we see and hear stories like yours. So thank you for having us. And I just wanted to introduce myself and my coworker who I'm here with, Charlene. Charlene, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My computer keep restarting me, so I don't know what that's about, but sorry about my internet connection here. My name is Charlene Haymond-Busell, and I am the Director of Career Planning and Placement at Olive Harvey College. Thank you for having us today.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Amanda Geddes. I am the Executive Director of Strategic Initiatives at Olive Harvey College, and I work with Charlene and a great group of people, and we have just really been so excited to share our program and what we've done and where we plan on going. So that's why we're here today. Is I was so happy to hear the community college shout out as well in the last panel, because you know, I got a little nervous when somebody asked about education programs and I was like, oh God, what are they going to say? And it was just so heartening to hear that, you know, community colleges are making an impact throughout Illinois, not just Chicago. And so we are grateful to be part of the conversation. We're grateful to be at the table, and we're grateful to be here with you all today. So we're going to go over the opportunities, which obviously we've been talking about all morning, all week. That shouldn't be new to anybody here. The progress to date that Olive Harvey is doing. Charlene is going to talk about all the great work with workforce partnerships and career planning and placement. And then finally, the future vision and the next phase of the work at Olive Harvey College. So as everybody knows, this industry is exploding, and this is basically, you know, the slide that I use on a day-to-day basis to convince everyone I talk to that this is a industry that's important, and it is a way to build generational wealth. It is a way to get into the middle class, and it's a way to, you know, repair the harms on communities that have been, you know, disproportionately affected by the war on drugs. Like, I agree with Miss Danielle Perry. I have seen her speak before, and I just think she's amazing. And so when she was speaking about that we need to recognize and we need to talk about these things, I could not agree more. And so this is, as most people know, you know, higher education can be conservative. It can be slow to act. You mix in government and, you know, you got a a very slow process. So we are excited about the progress that we've made because our board, our president, our chancellor, they all recognize that this is important, and we want to be there to prepare Chicagoans and the local economy for this industry. So our vision, it's going to be bold. By 2025, we hope to serve as Chicago's leading partner for cannabis and the urban agriculture education. We also reached out to Growing Home after meeting with Danielle Perry and realized all the great work that they're doing in the communities surrounding us, and that there's so much opportunity for urban agriculture in the city, especially with food scarcity. And so equity in education, supporting equitable industry access and community mobility through education. That's really important to keep speaking on the value of education. Education changes lives, and education gives opportunities. And so I think it's really important to always bring equity and education together, because one without the other isn't going to work. And finally, research. Serve as a hub for cannabis product research in partnership with area universities. We would love to do this. We believe that community colleges can be the first step to this process to increase research, and we know that the benefits, are just untold with the different research opportunities. So to get there, we can leverage social impact dollars. We've had one investor give a large sum, PharmaCann. We got a $100,000 donation. I got a soft donation from a different company, but until they confirm, I guess I'm not supposed to say anything. We've had small business donations. And then the most important thing I think we have are in-kind and industry donations with regards to institutional knowledge. So we have, practitioners and VPs of cultivation attending weekly meetings and helping drive curriculum and make connections for our students. And that public-private partnership and developing a pipeline and, having this career planning and placement, that all works together. You can't have one without the other. It's fine to have education, but if you don't have anywhere for the students to go to afterwards, then it's really not as meaningful as it needs to be. And so that's what we're really trying to do, is to cultivate diverse faculty leaders, to make sure that our faculty, represent the community, and that we allow a space for practitioners who are already in the cannabis industry to really lead the way in their vision and education. So we're excited about that as well. So some progress to date. It's been about exactly 2 years since we started talking cannabis at Olive Harvey College. And actually I went to this conference last year, and that was basically my first kind of official introduction into the cannabis industry. And I just haven't looked back. So I want to say thank you to IWC for always being a great partner to Olive Harvey. I mean, just to see the two work-based learning students introduce, today, it really makes my heart warm that IWC and Amor and Gina and Carrie and Dina, they are all just like these forefront women thinkers, and we're appreciative of them. So we were one of the community colleges that applied for the vocational pilot program. We also are building a greenhouse, so we will grow hemp, and we're going to have our groundbreaking ceremony on Earth Day. So April 22nd, we will be building almost a 1,500 square foot greenhouse on campus at Olive Harvey. So just a little side note, if you've never been to Olive Harvey College, it's actually a gorgeous campus down south. It's right off the Bishop Ford, and it's on 67 acres. We have our own wetland. We see deer, coyote, you name it, we've seen it out there at Olive Harvey. And we have the space to have not only a greenhouse, but possibly a processing and extraction lab, solar panels, community gardens, a wetland walk. The opportunity is endless down at Olive Harvey College, and it's really been exciting to build up the local area as well. We currently have a dispensary operations basic certificate, as a couple of the students mentioned. And we also are really piloting a lot of classes through our continuing education courses, such as marketing and branding and medical marijuana, business and cannabis, social equity. And we've been having workshops and panel discussions. We had a war on drugs panel. We had a Black male inclusion economy panel. We're really trying to start and be the catalyst for conversations that are important and need to be had in the community. And finally, as I mentioned, the fundraising tier we did put into place. And so we received our first social equity inclusion plan. For those that may not know, the state of Illinois said that anyone with a medical license that wanted to get a second license had to donate at least $100,000 or 3% to a social equity inclusion plan. And there's several different options that companies have, but one of those options is to donate to a community college. And so that is what we are doing. We are, fundraising to support our students, to support our program. Everybody receives a scholarship who shows financial need, and we're actually developing a whole new world of scholarships because currently, and we'll talk about that a little bit, our program is being funded by the Workforce Equity Initiative scholarships. And so that was what was able to start and seed our program. We have a cannabis advisory council, so I'm sure some of you have been to a meeting or have heard about it. It's a wonderful organization or council that we've had since October of 2019. And so we actually, one of our very first partners was the person that said they were going to give us money, a couple weeks ago. So it's just really cool how things come together full circle. This was an individual who, we were just talking about cannabis and the possibility of a program, and they stuck with us for the last 2 years. And so we're appreciative of that. Those are the kind of engaged partners that we have. The partners that come to these meetings come every month. They are not just coming to check a box. They really contribute. We have subcommittees. We're leading on education and hemp and research, workforce development, fundraising, and then of course, restorative justice. It is the mission of the Cannabis Studies program to educate the future workforce, but to also empower individuals who have been disproportionately affected by the war on drugs. And we developed a mission statement. That's how much we want this to be infused into our programming. It's not just a subset of the programming, it is the programming. So as I mentioned, the Workforce Equity Initiative, we first were awarded a grant back in October of 2019 for $1.5 million. We have thus received another almost $1.2 million for the same grant for another year because of the success. The point of the grant was to provide short-term certificates to students so that they can get into the workforce. And so we piloted the cannabis program into the short-term certificate and created a credit program. It's 11 credits, and students come out with their responsible vendor training and a basic certificate from Olive Harvey Colleges, which is one of the city colleges of Chicago. The whole cost for the program was about $400,000, and we've had to date 126 with 84 completers. And the job placement was a little slow in the beginning. I mean, keep in mind when we rolled this program out, it was February of 2020. And then, everybody was shut down a month later. And so us, like everyone else, had to pivot and put everything online. And, our students are resilient and they persevere, and in their completion that semester was really just nothing short of astounding. And now with the fatigue of Zoom and with the fatigue of this coronavirus and just the fatigue, I think, of everyone, online learning can be very overwhelming for individuals that have jobs, that have kids, that have never, taken a college class before. And so we're really recognizing that, and we're looking for ways to support our students in meaningful ways to help the success with the online programs, because we recognize that can be a challenge. And so that's what we're evaluating, is we're constantly looking at what's working and what's not working. Charlene?
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. So at Olive Harvey College, our Workforce Partnership and Career Planning and Placement Center works very closely with our students as well as our partners. We have a very diverse group of students. Out of 47% of our students, 35% of those students have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and PhDs. The 47% includes those degrees along with associate degrees, which is 12% of our students that have associate degrees. We have partners in cannabis, 11 plus. We have more than enough, but not more than enough, but we have a lot of partners that partner with us that's open to our students to do work-based learning. Amanda? So our workforce development and work-based learning partners, again, is at least 11 plus. These employers really engage with Olive Harvey to get our students that work-based learning that they need. They go to the facility, they work with the employee, and a lot of them, as Esmeralda said, that a lot of them get hired full time because they not only receive their certificate from Olive Harvey College, but they go and get hands-on training with work-based learning. Amanda? Our workforce development and work-based learning partners, our outcomes are really phenomenal. We have 20 work-based learning opportunities for students. And that includes all of our partners, plus new partners that we are collaborating with and working with to build an even closer partnership. 10 committed dispensary partners we have at Olive Harvey College to educate and to enforce our initiatives. Partnership committee commitments yield 20% of employment placement of our programs. Our partnership and employment pipeline with the industry leader, Cresco, is one of the industry leaders, which is one of our big partners. We work very closely with Cresco. We make sure that our students are prepared for the jobs. We have our workforce development piece that we work with our student, and they have hired 17% of our students so far. As Amanda said, with the pandemic, a lot of things slowed down. So a lot of the placement slowed down at that time, but it is really picking up. And even the new employees that's contacting Olive Harvey have hired some of our recent students. But Olive Cresco is one of our biggest partners, and they do a lot of hiring of our students. Thank you, Amanda. So what we like to do, this is just an example of what we do with our students after they complete their cannabis certification. We have life after cannabis. So this panel meet with our students to make sure that they have the tools needed to face this new industry. This industry, of course, new to Illinois, so our students don't have experience, of course, in cannabis, but they have experience in a lot what the employees are looking for, and that's excellent customer service skills. As I work with these students that I work with have, again, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, PhDs, doctoral candidates, associate's degrees, and high school diploma. But they all come in at the same level of interviewing because the employers in this cannabis industry want first to know, how are your customer service skills? So we work with our students to prepare them. We work with them with doing resumes. We do a resume draft. We make sure that resume, we look it over. We make sure it's at the professional level, and then we submit that resume to Olive Harvey's job board that we can send out to our industry partners. We also do mock interviews. Although we have a diverse group of students, and some of them, again, have the master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and PhDs, some of them still haven't interviewed for a while. And interviewing is a skill that you gain the more you do it. And we know that you're more comfortable with interviewing the more you interview. So we do mock interviews with our students. We work with our students on writing cover letters. Some students haven't written a cover letter in years, or again, had a resume updated in years. So we go through those workshops with our students in a group setting, and then we work with those students individually. We like to start off in a group setting with our students to work together, because one student can feed off the information from another student. So we like to collaborate and work within each other. And I always say, each one teach one. So we work together with that. And then we meet individually, and I individually work with those students on mock interviews, good interviewing tips, and how to better present themselves on their resume. And what would stand out on the resume? The last panel, I think Gina mentioned, she closed with your resume, your cover letter. We would like to make sure our students have what we deem to be a professional resume, a resume that will stand out to employer. If a student has a PhD, come to Olive Harvey, do the program, but have never really worked directly with customers, but their experience that they have working with other employees may yield them those soft skills needed to work with customers in this industry. So we like to dig deep into our students' resume, dig deep into their past, even for our students that don't have a degree and but had experience in customer service. We like to pull out those excellent communication skills and make sure it's highlighted on the resume. And we assist the students with job placement. Again, all of our partners in this industry, they are open to at least guarantee our students an interview. Of course, we can't guarantee employment, but they at least partner with us and we build that relationship, and they know how we work with our students and a certificate that we have, that they can trust the fact that the student is pretty much ready at least to interview with them. And then we help our students build their brand. We help our students better seal the deal so they can possibly be made an offer. We have a responsible vendor training program, which our certificate program and the vendor training program equips our student to be more uh, employment ready. Let's just say that they make themselves more employable. The with the certificates. I know in the last panel, the panelists said that those certificates aren't necessarily needed, but it helps. So as our students, not just to say I have a certificate, but the knowledge and the skills and the training that they gain while receiving that certificate. Minda?
Thank you so much for that, Charlene.
Welcome.
We're excited to talk about the next phase as well, is because, you know, Olive Harvey College is the center of excellence for transportation, distribution, and logistics. And the reason why we were able to pilot this program is that we, put it under our supply chain, and we realized that cannabis was a supply chain and that dispensary operations was the retail and at the end. But we also realized through the last couple of years that that's obviously not the one and done industry that's available. And we're really building on creating additional pathways. And one of those pathways is with the processing technician. So our sister college, Wilbur Wright, the amazing Akila Easter and Milka Ramirez have been spearheading cannabis education on the north side of the city as well. And they developed a cannabis processing technician certification that they've ran this past semester with, I think, a 99% retention rate, which is amazing in the online world of higher education. So well done, Professor Easter, if you're on the call right now. But also they have, we want to offer this to our next round of students. And so we are so excited to talk about a violence prevention initiative that we are doing with the city of Chicago. And what that will do is to provide wraparound services and free cannabis education certification to individuals with violence in their background and a cannabis conviction. And so this first spring cohort will be modeled very similar to our workforce equity initiative, where the students will come in, they will have the tuition, a stipend. We're going to look at work-based learning opportunities, but we're also investigating the Growing Home curriculum. Growing Home runs an amazing curriculum called Roots and Success. And so that's what we're also exploring is really just trying to diversify the training and making sure that it meets the goals of what the individuals need. But the other reason why this is really important is because we recognize that while 5,000 expungements is amazing, and Kim Fox is obviously the most amazing person in the world, that, you know, there's still people that are affected by the expungement process, and things aren't as smooth in the state as they probably could be. And sometimes people that should have been expunged aren't. Sometimes people that want a RVT agent badge, you know, aren't able to get it. And so we need to be aware of that, and we need to provide our students with realities and with pathways that are realistic. And so that's the other really exciting thing about the processing technician, is that we believe that this pathway will be provide less barriers to individuals than perhaps the dispensary route. Our long-term program is called Still I Rise, and we're really excited about this. This was a brainchild of our president, and so Kimberly Hollingsworth is an amazing leader and really just been a transformative leader in this space because she believed in us. You know, she really just said, okay, you guys, like, it sounds good and let's run with it. And that's a really, you know, amazing support when you have that in your leadership. So we're going to start this year. Hopefully, we're putting out a request for proposals. We're going to work with community-based organizations. You know, we don't do cognitive behavior health, so we're going to partner with people that do. We're going to partner with the CBOs out there that do that work, and so that we can support our students in all the areas with the trauma and with the career skills that perhaps are outside of our scope of work. So that's the goal of this program, is to really infuse the wraparound services, provide essential skills training, and deliver a cannabis education basic certificate with a work-based learning opportunity for our students on a yearly basis for individuals who have been touched by violence. Our greenhouse that we've kind of touched on a little bit will provide a hands-on experience for the urban ag department, but it's also a great way to bring in high schools and to bring in students that maybe aren't interested in the plant touching experience, but are interested in continuing on their education in urban agriculture, agribusiness, horticulture, analytics, laboratory sciences, chemistry. The sky's the limit. And there's 4-year colleges that are so interested in partnering. We've talked to Colorado State and Pueblo, New Jersey, Ohio, Michigan. They're really coming up all over the place, and it's really exciting because students can come in, get an associate's degree, and then continue on with their cannabis education for a bachelor's degree. For those the higher level paying jobs, you know, pharmacists, I believe New York, the East Coast, you know, they have required pharmacists at the dispensaries. And so that might not be a career path that you had once considered, but if you're a pharmacist and want to switch, you would probably have a pretty good job. OHC will also provide hands-on ability to analyze and test the plant. We worked with Cresco Labs, who has, like Charlene mentioned, been an enormously wonderful partner in the creation of our program. And we were able to buy an HPLC. And so we will be able to perform laboratory analysis on the very hemp plants that we grow on site. And so with that, our students will be able to have that hands-on experience in the lab. And we comply with the vocational pilot program to ensure, you know, that we're testing on that. These are our planned pathways. We want to hit the sectors of all the opportunities for our students. So the adult ed, we want to make sure that we hit that population. We want to make sure that we partner with high schools and that we offer coursework in agribusiness and technology. We want to make sure for people that want to go right into the workforce that they are able to, and that we give them a short-term certificate that will give them the skills that they need to be successful. The transfer pathway, we're also exploring an associate's degree in community advocacy. Illinois is doing amazing work with the advocacy around cannabis. And if you're interested in that, we want to create a pathway for you. And of course, the entrepreneurship and the business industry is, like we've talked about in the last 2 days, unlimited. And so we want to support all of budding entrepreneurs in this process. And so we're running continuing education courses through for business. And we also partner with Gromentum Lab EDU, who also has business courses. And they've been a partner from the start to develop a THC touching location for our students, because we can't have, plants with higher than 0.03% on campus due to federal funding. And finally, so that field practicum with Gromentum is where our students will get that hands-on experience that the vocational pilot program speaks on. And hopefully we'll get to the point where we can do research opportunities to produce and sell Olive Harvey College CBD oil, right? Like the sky's the limit in this world. And so we partner with Chicago State University, who's our neighbor. And they have a graduate student whose name is Stephen, who's amazing. And he's part of our hemp and research subcommittee. And they're very interested in bringing research opportunities in the cannabis space for those grad level, and to really get into the cannabinoids and the terpenes and the all the research that frankly America is pretty far behind on. So that's our program. We're very excited about it. I see there's some comments in the chat, so I'm just going to look at that. But Charlene, was there anything else that you kind of wanted to mention while I look at the questions?
Yes, I just wanted to mention about the many partners that we have and how we engage our students to prepare them for those work-based learning opportunities. Those opportunities that lead our students to job opportunities are paying the going rate in that industry. We have a new partner that just contacted us that we've been building a partnership with that's starting off for a wellness advisor at $19 an hour. So they pretty good pay for this industry. So we encourage our students to continue to be of excellence that they are, and as they finish the program and look for employment, that we're here to support them every step of the way. I did see in the chat, Amanda, that it was a question about childcare and transportation.
That's great. Yes, we do have funding for childcare and transportation. We recognize that can be a barrier. And so we've been providing vouchers to students that require childcare, as well as venture cards. And Charlene, do you know any other transportation benefits that we offer?
The venture card, pretty much, yeah, for public transportation.
Right. But so that's actually, it was really interesting to hear the previous panel and talk about kind of the cultivation and processing locations that are outside of Chicago and those opportunities. So I think that there's a real space for talking about how we get students who may not have access to transportation to a rural area. And then, how can we support them while they're there? Is it on the company to provide housing? Is it on the community to provide housing? Is it a group effort where we can work with villages and cities to, renovate rundown buildings and offer housing for students and offer housing for workers? And is there a way that we can channel all this energy? There's obviously a need. There's obviously a requirement and a passion, that students have. Is there a way to kind of garner all this and make it successful for everybody in the state of Illinois, and not limit the agriculture possibilities for students that, frankly, don't even know what an opportunity like that would look like until we can show them. So that's what we're here to do, is to show our students and our community what possibilities are.
And Amanda, I would like to add that even in our program, the stipend that we offer students, and to qualify for that stipend is what our students are there to do anyway, is to complete the program. To complete the program and go through the requirement steps of the program. And one of those requirements is meeting with career planning and placement, to make sure before you leave our program, you have a professional resume, you have a cover letter, you've completed a mock interview with career services, and we kind of worked on your soft skills. So that's part of the stipend program that's included with this certification, which also helps with the child care in the transportation. Now, there's
Absolutely.
also a question of someone already worked in the industry and work and have a lot of retail experience, which means this person have a lot of customer service experience and is what this industry is looking for. And if you already work in the industry now, if you're looking to switch to a different industry or a different cannabis employer to work for, I would say research each cannabis employer. And if you're already working there, um, get yourself prepared where you are and check on the promotion opportunities there. And if that doesn't exist, if it's not where you are now, where you want to be now, then I would say definitely go out and look at some other cannabis industries. But you want to make sure that the skills are transferable, that what you're doing where you are right now is what the other employer is looking for, and why you would looking to move to a different employer. Sometimes is proximity. Sometimes it's where you live, and sometimes it's too far out. Maybe you don't want to commute as long anymore. So you look at the reason, because a recruiter gonna want to know why you want to leave. But our program absolutely can still offer you a certification to help with those with your employment endeavors. So it would only help you be more employable with our certification, with that experience.
I agree. I think the processing technician, if you're working in a dispensary, and it sounded like from listening to the last panel that getting in the cultivation and what did she say, vegetation and harvest and processing and packaging, those are the areas where if you're looking to beef up your skills, that we're going to have curriculum. So our vocational pilot program has information on the entire vertical. Our processing technician obviously talks about extraction and processing. And then, we haven't done a lot with packaging. So I'm definitely going to leave this meeting with that in my forefront of providing continuing education around packaging. Because right now that is not something we've been offering. And I love the value of that. And I see you, Miss Dillon, and I just wanted to tell you that yes, there are four-year programs out there. Northern Michigan has a chemistry cannabis program. Colorado State Pueblo has a chemistry program, and actually that college is a Hispanic serving institution, and we are partners with them. And so if any students want to continue on with their education in that particular field, we can offer scholarships and transfer pathways for you, because they are very interested in recruiting into their cannabis program as well. So, sorry, Charlene, were you going to say
No,
something?
no, there was a question about the greenhouse, and will any opportunities for the greenhouse be open to pretty much the public? And I'm sure there may be room for that, but overall, I don't know, Amanda, if you agree that our greenhouse is hands-on experience that our students will receive in our cannabis program.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the value of continuing education courses is that it can be a very short class, right? Like we can have an hour class on Saturday for the community who wants to come in and just learn about hemp, or about what it looks like inside a cultivation greenhouse, right? So yes, you would probably be a student, but you may not be the student that you think. You might not be a credit, full-time student. You may just be a student that's coming for the day or for an hour. But we are lifelong learners at Olive Harvey College. And so we have students of all ages and races and sizes. And we are here to educate our students and support them wherever they are in their learning process.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wherever you are in that learning process, and whatever type of student you are, with City Colleges overall, you will be considered an alum with Olive Harvey, and our doors will be open.
And then I just saw the next question. Will these programs continue to prioritize social equity? Yes. Short answer is yes, absolutely. Our vocational pilot program has a restorative justice class in the curriculum as a required course. So it's not even an elective. We're really making this a forefront to ensure that the conversations are had and that awareness is made, and that the tough conversations that we can talk about and move forward in a way that is healing to all communities.
I know I'm excited. I am so excited that this program is at Olive Harvey College. And not because I'm an employee there, but because I am part of the community. And I see the impact that it's having on the community and how it's changing our community when our students come through our program and complete and working in that industry. It's just wonderful. Or getting work-based learning training in this industry. It's just wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you, Charlene. You did wonderful. It's great to be here. I agree. We love our jobs. We get to talk about cannabis all the time.
Yeah.
What could be more fun than that? So
Right,
thank you,
right.
IWC, for allowing us to be here. And everyone have a great rest of your day.